Tom, really good to see you. We have an important topic today. We're talking 401k withdrawal rules, everything that you need to know. More Americans are tapping their 401ks right now because of financial distress. In fact, the number of people who made a hardship withdrawal surged 36% from the second quarter in 2022. So we wanted to break down the basics. And a lot changed after the passage of the Secure Act. It made it easier to claim a hardship withdrawal. Can you explain that, please?
Sure. What happened was with the Secure Act 2.0, the government allowed for a few more hardship exceptions to give people the opportunity to access some of those dollars.
Right.
So we have to remember that there are some exceptions that are plan only, that are IRA only, and then some that are for both. So we have to be really careful to make sure that we understand which is which. So for some of the exceptions are death, disability, a 72T annuitization, medical expenses to a certain extent, IRS levy, if you're a reservist and you're called to active duty, birth or adoption, terminal illness, if you're in a declared disaster area. Those are some of the ones that are for both. Some that are for plan only are the age 55 or perhaps the age 50 with 25 years of employment or service exceptions. Then you have a quadro exception, and then you have a phased retirement distribution from federal plan exception. So those are the ones that you're allowed to. But again, people have to remember that these are taxable events.
Right. And we're going to get into that in a second too. And while you've listed all those verifiable hardship withdrawals, I think a lot of people are tapping them now simply because it's difficult to make ends meet with inflation. So we want to capitalize on the fact that while you may not have to repay a hardship withdrawal, there is a real opportunity cost.
Absolutely, and I feel for people because
Yeah.
it's a tough time out there now, and it's an easy bucket of money to go after,
Right.
right? We've all been put in that situation before, but again, you do lose opportunity costs because these are going to be dollars that you're going to be taking away from your retirement,
Mhm.
and you lose the opportunity cost, you lose the compounding interest
Right.
effect. So there's a lot that could go wrong if not done the right way.
hmm And so you mentioned, let's take a look at this. If you are not 59 and a half and you make a withdrawal not for hardship, you are going to pay a 10% penalty and income taxes. But even if you make that hardship withdrawal, you're still paying the taxes on it.
Correct. There's no exception for the taxes. And again, you have to be aware because even a simple distribution for hardship purposes could put you maybe in a higher tax bracket, which means that you might be paying even more taxes on that money than you originally expected, needed to,
Right.
wanted to, what have
Right.
you. So there's a lot that could go wrong here. Again, I feel for people. I understand why people need to do it, but you have to really take a hard look to make sure that it makes fiscal sense and that you're not hurting yourself, not only in the short term, but in the long term as well.
Right. It has to be a very careful calculation.
For
And I want
sure.
to just take a moment real quick to remind everybody that with a Roth account, you can tap those contributions without penalty, with some exceptions again. But explain that, please, Tom.
Correct. So just remember, as long as your Roth is 5 years old or more, then you can tap into it without any early distribution penalty on what your contribution is. So
Mhm.
one of the good things about the Roth is that your contributions will be coming out first in the distribution phase. So those are dollars that you've already paid tax on. So again, those are dollars that are going to come to you penalty free as well as tax free.
Mhm. And Tom, I know again, this is something you specialize in. You live in these rules and regulations. If somebody wants a breakdown of the list of those hardships, or they want to talk through what's the best way for them to tap money that they have to cover hardships or other, expenses that they have, what's the best way to reach you?
Well, the best way is TJ O'Connell at internationalfinancial.com. And if you email me, I'll be happy to send you the list of exceptions. for both IRAs as well as plans.
Mhm.
And then the other way, just give us a call, 973-394-0623. We'll be happy to try to help anybody out any way that we can. Again,
Yes.
this is a tough time,
Mhm.
and people need help, and we're here to help.
Yeah, even just to talk through those options is incredibly
Right.
helpful. Yeah. Tom, thank you very much for your time today.
Thanks, Aaron. Great seeing you.